Birds.
Well, since you've brought it up, yes, Angry Birds has made a Guinness record for the most downloads.
How much is it?
They didn't say how many.
Is it over 9,000?
I'm sure.
Why would bad BBC reference?
I'm sure it's over by a magnitude. On to the Microsoft worlds. Microsoft. Okay.
What a surprise, there's not much.
Yeah, I know. Big shot. Big whoop with Microsoft. Okay, they've added the like button. You can now like from Bing. Bing likes. It totally likes.
I should be gonna do it right now.
You know, the way this is being presented is like this is some big, huge thing. Oh, Bing now considers your likes in the algorithm. How will this affect search results? What will happen? Will Google start using like too? You know, both of them. For about a year now, the number one considering factor in where your site ranks in the search engine is how many people have Facebook liked it. Like they do back crawl through Facebook, both of them, and go, how many likes are there for this site? You know, they consider that factor.
Now, wait, I think it would be better metrics if they use how many likes per person that actually verify with their text message on a cell phone. Because you need that to get advantage.
Yes. If you would like to be number one on Google, please text like to blah blah blah. It's like, what are you working for the phone company now?
If they did that organization with people that, like, okay, let's forget about the people that didn't have that didn't verify their account with their cell phone by text message, which is sort of not one of these. They could be like spam bots or whatever, you know. But like from actual people, you know.
And we are now on American SEO. Vote which site you'd like to eliminate via text message, because the phone companies make more money that way. It's like, you have anything to add to this insanity, Dark?
No, not really. Quite frankly, Microsoft kind of bores me with a lot of their tech stuff, so...
Okay, then we'll just skip over Phone 7. There's no reason, you know? It's getting updates.
Nobody cares about Phone 7.
If it's getting updates, it'll break a few more phones.
You know, they would really get flack if they did that. They would.
Apple.
Oh, yeah.
Where to start?
I would say, you know what? Pick one. You can lead us off since you hated the Microsoftian.
The developers.
Yeah, I found that one interesting too, actually. For those of you who have been living under a rock, or haven't been told yet, effectively what happened is this little upstart company started filing suits against people who were developing for iOS, saying that, you know, the idea of the type of purchasing that goes on in iOS violated their patent. And rather than sue Apple, they were suing all the people developing for iOS. And there's, you know, these people, rather than, they went to Apple and said, Apple, are you going to defend us? And you know, there was a lot of speculation going on for the last week or so, wondering, because if you read the Apple U-Law, it clearly states that, you know, Apple is not responsible. You bear all legal responsibility. Basically, if Apple chooses, you're just left out in the cold and don't let the door hit your naked ass on the way out, you know. But because this particular patent would basically make any app purchases that go on in iOS illegal, including Apple's, in the act of actually buying an app.
Yeah, it was for app-in purchases, right?
Yeah.
So, and Apple now requires in their URL that you use this particular method to pay for applications.
Yeah. So basically, this is like what Apple wants the whole bread and butter based on. So, it obviously Apple has circled the Mac lawyers. You know, we now have the iLawyers. Apparently, Apple has an iLawyer mobile, and they're like circling this. Like they're and they're fixing to decide how they're going to do this. You know, this is just what.
And now paying off the iJudge.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I'm running out of shock. You know, this is just one more. Really? Who approved this patent? I mean, it's.
As the people of the patent office not doing their job.
I mean, I'm conflicted.
He wasn't a patent office. Was he this lazy back then?
I'm conflicted here because Apple's suffering and having to waste money on a frivolous lawsuit, and you know what? They've shelled out enough of them. Damn it! But on the other hand, I have a larger outrage for the why is this even effing happening? It's like say that again, Dark.
I said, just say is I'm glad to see that Apple's getting some of their own change.
Yeah, no, you know, and honestly, this is karma right here. Apple has filed enough frivolous lawsuits against others. The only way this would be more fitting is if they were attacking both Phone 7 and Apple. You know, then we'd have the two companies who are responsible for some of the most frivolous lawsuits that have ever been, you know, getting a taste of their own medicine. But, yeah.
Well, this reminds me of when, you know, one of Apple's patents for the suit against the Android manufacturer, you know, HTC and Samsung and a few others, and then your interaction screen.
You know, and this suit is literally cut from the same cloth. Because they didn't go after Apple. They went after the Apple app developers who are using Apple's system. You know, just like Apple never sued Google. They just sued anybody who happened to be using Android. You know, it's like...
The same thing with Microsoft did with Android.
Yeah, it's like, why go after Google? We'll just go after the support system. That makes more sense, right? You know? I guess we'll talk about iPhone 5 during iWorld, because Bit cares about that a lot more than y'all do.
I guess they have all as much money to waste on these lawsuits, I don't know.
Yeah, and you know what, as we're fixing to transition into the Privacyville...
What Privacyville?
Yeah. No.
The Apple, Google.
Yeah, we're fixing to get into Google, but this also applies to Apple. For those of you who don't know, our taxpayer dollars are being used to invest. Hold on.
Oh, this is Oshika's apartment?
No.
We have set drugs, has a little girl that was back there.
Actually, yeah, I believe that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's one number down. No, that's okay. I'm not putting that anyways. Somebody looking on the wrong door. Anyways. Oh yeah. Should we cut that out or leave it in? I don't know if we could hear them. I don't want to be giving up.
I can hear Jack.
Okay. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, our lovely DC is getting all political. And you know they're milking this privacy thing to something. Oh well, you know we weren't satisfied with Apple and Google and everybody else's answer, so we're gonna call them back. You know, it's like we need more. We didn't get enough out of the cameras for this. You know, we need to know that we're private.
Yeah. What about my privacy being scared at the airport? What about if I don't want to do that? I have to be groped. What about that?
I swear.
So can I have privacy from the government?
Nope.
Exactly. So if I decide to give up my privacy to a company, that's my own damn decision. I'm forced to give it up to the government so they can screw off.
Oh, no. The government wants to be legislating privacy.
They want to legislate everything.
Well, no, see, that's what we need now. We need the government. Okay, here is the new Pledge Allegiance for the United States of the government. I pledge allegiance to the government. One nation for the government, under the government, by the government, for the government, and the government.
So help the government.
Yeah, it's like, I remember vaguely there being something about people and the idea of a republic and liberty, and I remember a whisper. Yeah, there was a whisper somewhere in there about justice and all, but I think I'm remembering it wrong. It's
I think there was a pursuit of happiness. So,
that's never been in the pledge. That was just in some preamble to some document that doesn't even. It's not important.
Yeah, that document that makes the outline for our government.
No, that's not important. Yeah. No, see, that was hundreds of years ago. Nobody thinks like that anymore. Nah. We don't need that. Yeah, that sucks.
That was before the internet. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
That was before Facebook.
We just want to be safe. We don't want to think. They can think for us, right?
Yeah.
Someone be secure.
And transitioning away from that rather depressing reality.
Right, Department of Homeland Security? I bet you are.
Okay. But, and on this is actually right on this string. For those of you who don't, I'm just going to read it because it says it perfectly. The headline is Android Vulnerability Exposed. Android vulnerability exposes users to data theft. Now let me read what this vulnerability is. Using an Android device on an unsecure Wi-Fi can expose your calendar comments and other data to other people.
Thank you for being the obvious one.
Is that news to anybody? I'm just saying, it's...
You have to be aware of public, package sniffers at the library, You gotta be aware of them.
Yeah, it's like, hi,
That's a whole coffee shop.
Yeah,
Well, he's gonna have his revenge on you.
Yeah. See, so I'm connecting by proxy to an unsecured connection. Yes. That's that's entirely safe, right? Is there anybody who thinks that? Anybody?
Well, there are non-geeks would think that. Okay, I'm on a Mac, let's see,
Oh, okay, but literally, on Windows, on Linux, on OS X, on Android, on iOS, every freaking device. You are connecting to an unsecure connection. It will be possible for others to view data you send and receive. They all say this! And this is news to people.
And this is where the problem from the, in this case, touchscreen to, phase is about the interaction between, it's usually the problem.
If you want to try and make heads or tails of what Washington's doing right now and why they're capitalizing on this is it right here. It is. This is, yeah. It's like, hi, yes, would you like to breach your private information? Yes. I shouldn't have been able to click yes. Government, why aren't you protecting me from saying yes? Why aren't you taking my choice away? It's like really?
People are idiots nowadays. They shouldn't even reproduce. That's the game of national selection. Whoever has the most kids wins.
You're going too far there, but you're going to get the flack for that. Right to care of Commodore. Okay, getting away from the depression. I'm getting depressed now.
Okay. What's in the happy land?
Well, okay. You're a gamer, Commodore. What do you think about, because Apple's hit the, record, the iPhone is considered the fastest selling portable gaming device. Do you think this PSP, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Yeah. Do you think it's a challenge to that? I mean, we are coming on the heels of the Sony network thing. Does anybody want to buy a PSP Android device no matter how many games come with it?
I would like to have that, but I wouldn't really like to have that specifically. I would like to have something else, but I'm a geek, but I don't know. I guess because since the reason why the iPhone sold much because a lot of casual gamers they rule the market. They rule with their iron fist. Okay, Angry Birds isn't easy to play. I don't want to play Halo. I want to play Angry Birds. That's the games that they want. Like I'm the kind of gamer that want. Okay, I want some more in depth.
That would be the thing. That would be the thing here. This thing is a PSP that happens to also be an Android phone. So you could get your, casual gamer games through Android, and you could get your PSP games for the hardcore game. It'd be the gamer device for the gamer to the added gamer. But on the other hand, I'm like,
I don't think so. I think it's for $16 for a device that you can easily break that's in your pocket. Like if you leave it in your pants and you wash it, it's like, oh shit.
Aside from washing it, I think it'd do okay, but I doubt the PSP would come out too well in the wash cycle either. Anyways,
also pay for a device for a portable game device, probably like $200, maybe $300.
No, it's $200 and it comes with games.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, was that worth a contract?
Yes, of course. What were you gonna say, Dark?
Here's the biggest problem. Sony hasn't really published or done much as far as marketing. Apple, on the other hand, has done a crap ton of marketing in regards to iOS and games and blah 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 blah. And the biggest problem is actually Android. The market has games, but they're nowhere near what you can find on iOS.
Yeah, but there are less quantity, but I'm not sure I'd say less quality because there are some.
There are quality titles in the market. I'm not saying there are. What I'm saying is Sony has to cater to that point where it's gonna swell over.
Here would be the thing: if Sony was smart, they'd load their whole archive into Android. So you could just zoom them down to your gamer pad device thing, but I don't see them doing that. Because if they were really smart, there's a lot of things going on here. A lot of people are convinced, I'm one of them, that Google is planning to enter the gaming console thing in a hard way. And if Sony was smart, especially given what's going on with their console right now, they would partner with that and kind of, pull a Sega. You know what? We're getting out of this, and we're just letting these people worry about this. We have all this quality content, but we can't sell it anymore. So, I don't think they're quite ready to do that.
Well, Sega doesn't really have quality content anymore because they just make crappy Sonic games every now and then. I believe Sonic the Hedgehog 4 is a pretty good game, but they've been making crappy games recently. In the past 10 years or so.
I am an old school Sonician. I am from Sonic when it said Sega.
And Sega.
Yes, that too.
Wait, hold on. Oh shit, where is it?
Going on the Verizon side, of things, Verizon's 4G phone was delayed, but Samsung says they had nothing to do with it. So, I'm wondering, like a lot of people, if this doesn't have something to do with Verizon's LTE network not being anywhere near ready. Are we going to start having, as we switch over to 4G, everybody's going to go, my Verizon thing sucks. Is that what we're honestly going to get?
I can't speak from my own experience. I don't have a 4G equipped phone, so.
Well, and I mean, who's going to want one since they're getting rid of unlimited data? You know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
My
what's
point.
the point is that high-speed mobile internet if you can't use it?
Well, you can use it.
It's like a cock tease, you know. It's like, you know.
You know, here's what I honestly figure. If I had to honestly guess, my guess would honestly be you're just gonna have to like give money to your cell phone company by the bundle. You know, it's just like I mean, this is just a bunch of $1 bills, but I can honestly see this needing to be a stack of hundreds. You know, like, here you go, phone company. Am I good for a month? You know, that's what they want. You know, it's ridiculous. There's no way in hell that's gonna happen. That's just.
What about Net 10 for like a cell phone to actually make calls?
That's, you know what? That's the other thing. For those of you who are completely oblivious, did you know that we are now entitled to cell phones in the United States of America?
Are we entitled to cell phones where I can not get overcharged up the ass if I download more than 100 megabytes?
No, but you're entitled to a cell phone to make calls. Every American, if they can't afford it, is entitled to a 250-minute cell phone for emergencies. Why, I have no idea, but that's what we've
back in the day, we had these things called payphones, and we would call them.
Yeah, no, you're smoking something. You're smoking something now, man. You know.
Like before, like the street lights would come off, and we had to be home. If not, we had to get our asses kicked.
Now you're really smoking something.
Nice.
Maybe I am.
Okay, I think you want to take this next one, Dark.
And, oh man, let's see. Related to privacy, security issues. Netflix for Android.
Okay, skipping that one then.
I'll take Windows over Good Browser. I'll take Windows over Good Browser over Chrome OS. That one.
Well, but it's like, that was the one I thought Dark wanted, but he clearly skipped it. It's like,
I'm gonna watch Netflix.
Okay, for those of you who don't know what sucks, we have all this in front of us, but you can't see it. You know, I still to this day can't decide what I think of Chrome OS. You know, on the one hand, it is enough for my grandma. On the other hand, why? Why would I want it? Why? Why? You know, why? Why do I want that? You know, it's. All I know is they're coming out, and I'm sure people will buy them. Okay, so.
This is what I think about them. It's like, really? Come on. Do you think people are gonna return them like they did to the Linux netbooks?
No. Well.
Or do they expect the Linux netbooks more because it's an actual OS, not a browser?
They're being marketed different too.
No, the real problem with the Linux netbooks wasn't that they were Linux. It's problem one was they sucked. They were like the cheapest computer they could possibly build, and like you were just supposed to buy them because they had Linux. Like it was this perfect synopsis of let's build a bad computer and Linux fixes it. And it's like no. And the other
extend the life of old hardware and old POS, but it's not meant for that.
You know what's really funny about it? In a lot of ways, the Chromebooks are that experiment all over again. Because at the end of the day, that's Linux running a web browser. You know,
to me, the Chromebooks, Chrome OS, it's what netbooks were originally meant to be. That's why a lot of them came with 16 gig SSD drives instead of 160, 250 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
And had more functionality to it.
And the problem is that wasn't being projected when the netbook category came out.
Well, but here's the problem with that, honestly. If you're doing everything over the cloud, you know, and I do mean everything, how much actual computing can you get done with going into the, you know, how much actual computing can you get done before you run out of bandwidth?
Entire staff use Chrome OS, and really? How is that going to work? How is that Photoshop graphic development going to use Chrome OS?
Oh crap!
What happened? Did we lose Dark?
No. Okay, everybody, we're going to pause for a second, and we're going to get bid on.